The foundation of self-love. When was the last time you truly looked in the mirror and saw yourself? Not just your face, not just your flaws, but the soul within you. Too often we pass by our reflection and immediately notice what's wrong. The imperfections, the scars, the insecurities that society has convinced us to hate. But what if you stopped for a moment, looked into your own eyes, and whispered, "I love you. I honor you. I choose you." That is where the journey of self-love begins. Self-love is not arrogance. It is not selfishness. It is the recognition that before you can give love to anyone else, your family, your partner, your children, your friends, you must first be deeply rooted in the love you give yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And yet so many people go through life trying to prove their worth to others, waiting for validation, and chasing after love that leaves them empty, when the truth is, everything they are searching for is already within them. Think about this. If you spent half the energy you give to others on yourself, how powerful would you become? How much peace would you feel? How much confidence would you carry into every room you walked into? The foundation of self-love is choosing yourself, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when others don't understand. You see, the world thrives on distracting you from yourself. Social media, beauty standards, toxic relationships, and even cultural expectations constantly push you to compare, to compete, to feel like you are not enough. But here's the truth. They can only control you if you forget who you are. Loving yourself is the act of remembering your divine worth, a worth that cannot be measured by likes, approval, or attention from others. Self-love is a spiritual awakening. It is the moment you realize that you are whole, even without someone else completing you. It is knowing that you don't need to beg for love, because love is not something you chase. It is something you cultivate within your soul. And when you radiate it from within, the right people, the right opportunities, and the right blessings will naturally gravitate toward you. Ask yourself, how much time have I wasted seeking love from those who could not even love themselves? How many times have I lowered my standards because I thought that was the only way to be accepted? The truth is, the moment you start choosing yourself, you stop settling. The moment you realize that your heart is too sacred to be mishandled, you stop letting people treat you like you are ordinary. The foundation of self-love is this. You are your own home. You are your own safe place. You are your own best friend. And once you accept this truth, no one will ever have the power to make you feel less than enough again, breaking free from the trap of comparison. One of the biggest obstacles that keeps us from loving ourselves fully is the dangerous habit of comparison. From childhood, society conditions us to measure our worth by how we stack up against others, our grades, our looks, our career, our possessions, even the number of likes we get on social media. Slowly but surely, we fall into the trap of believing that love, happiness, and validation can only be found outside of us, in how the world perceives us. But here's the truth. Comparison is a thief. It steals your joy. It blinds you to your blessings, and it tricks you into thinking you're not enough, when in reality, you already are. When you constantly compare yourself to others, you disconnect from your true essence. You forget that you were created as a unique being with your own light to shine. No flower compares itself to the flower next to it. The rose does not feel insecure because the sunflower is taller. The sunflower does not shrink because the rose is more fragrant. Each blooms in its season, in its own beauty, fulfilling its divine purpose. Likewise, you are not here to be a copy of anyone else. You are here to embody your own soul's brilliance. Comparison is rooted in a lack of self-love. It is the illusion that someone else's path, appearance, or success makes yours less valuable. But spiritual awakening teaches us that abundance is infinite. Someone else's light does not dim yours. Someone else's success does not cancel out your potential. Their beauty does not erase your own. The universe is big enough for everyone to thrive, and your journey has its own timing. To break free from comparison, you must first return to gratitude. Instead of focusing on what you lack, begin to notice the countless blessings you already carry. Your heart beats every day without asking permission. Your lungs breathe life into you. Your eyes allow you to witness the miracle of creation. Your spirit has carried you through pain, storms, and losses. Yet here you are, still standing. Gratitude is the antidote to comparison, because when you appreciate what you have, you stop obsessing over what you don't. Secondly, you must understand that comparison keeps you trapped in a race that has no finish line. There will always be someone richer, someone prettier, someone smarter, someone more experienced. If you tie your worth to external standards, you will always feel less than. But if you anchor your worth in love, self-love, divine love, you will discover a peace that cannot be shaken. The journey to self-love requires you to stop looking outward and start looking inward. You are not here to live someone else's story. You are here to embrace your own. When you break free from comparison, you reclaim your freedom. And when you reclaim your freedom, you begin to see yourself as you truly are, whole, worthy, and enough. Breaking the chains of self-neglect. One of the most powerful steps in learning to love yourself more than anyone else is breaking free from the chains of self-neglect. Too often, we put everyone else first, our family, our friends, our partners, even our jobs, while we silently push our own needs aside. We wear exhaustion like a badge of honor, we confuse self-sacrifice with love, and we trick ourselves into believing that ignoring our well-being makes us stronger. But the truth is, neglecting yourself does not make you noble. It makes you empty. You cannot pour into others if your own cup is constantly dry. Self-neglect shows up in subtle ways. It's saying yes when you desperately want to say no. It's silencing your opinions to avoid conflict. It's denying yourself rest because you feel guilty for pausing. It's hiding your true self because you fear rejection. And little by little, every time you ignore your own needs, you chip away at your self-worth. Until one day, you look in the mirror and realize you no longer recognize the person staring back at you. This is why learning to love yourself requires courage. The courage to say, I matter too. It's not selfish to care for yourself, it's survival. Imagine a flower that never gets sunlight or water. It withers. You are no different. You deserve care. You deserve attention. You deserve love. From yourself first. Breaking free from self-neglect means setting boundaries without guilt. It means saying no to the things that drain you, and yes to the things that nourish you. It means no longer chasing approval, because your worth is not determined by how much you do for others. It is determined by who you are at your core. When you finally prioritize yourself, something amazing happens. Your energy shifts. You begin to radiate confidence, peace, and authenticity. People start treating you the way you treat yourself. So if you value yourself, others will value you too. The world will reflect back the love and respect you first learned to give yourself. Think about it. When you love yourself enough to rest, you become more present for others. When you love yourself enough to follow your dreams, you inspire others to follow theirs. When you love yourself enough to let go of toxic relationships, you show others that it's possible to rise above pain and create a better life. Your self-love is not only a gift to you, it becomes a beacon of light for everyone around you. So ask yourself right now, where am I neglecting myself? Where am I betraying my own needs in the name of keeping peace or making others happy? And then promise yourself that today you will take one small step toward change. Maybe it's resting without guilt. Maybe it's speaking your truth. Maybe it's walking away from something that no longer serves you. Self-love begins the moment you decide that you are worthy of the same compassion and care you give so freely to others. Breaking free from comparison and external validation. One of the biggest obstacles to truly loving yourself is the constant trap of comparison and seeking validation from others. We live in a world where comparison has been magnified by social media, where everyone's life appears picture perfect, and where likes, comments, and followers can trick us into measuring our worth by numbers. This endless cycle keeps us stuck in the belief that we are never enough, never beautiful enough, never successful enough, never loved enough. But the truth is, self-love and self-worth can never come from comparison. They must be rooted deep within you. When you compare your life to someone else's, you are measuring your reality against their highlight reel. You don't see their struggles, their pain, their insecurities. You only see what they allow the world to see. And when you internalize that false narrative, you rob yourself of the joy and gratitude for what you already have. The first step to breaking free is to recognize that your journey is uniquely yours. You are not meant to walk the exact same path as anyone else. Your timing, your lessons, and your blessings are divinely designed for you. Another destructive cycle is the endless search for external validation. Maybe you crave constant approval from your partner, your friends, your family, or even strangers online. You might feel like you need to be praised or noticed to feel valuable. But here's the hard truth. If your worth depends on someone else's opinion, you will always remain a prisoner. People's opinions change, their moods fluctuate, and their ability to see your value is often clouded by their own limitations. Why hand over your power to something so unstable? True self-love means no longer waiting for someone else to clap for you before you celebrate yourself. It means looking in the mirror and affirming your worth. Whether the world acknowledges it or not, it means clapping for your own victories, no matter how small. It means knowing that you are already enough, exactly as you are, without needing anyone to tell you. Think of it like this. A diamond doesn't need validation to shine. Whether people admire it or ignore it, its value doesn't decrease. You are that diamond. You carry immeasurable worth within you, and no one's approval can add to it, nor can their rejection take it away. Breaking free from comparison and external validation requires practice. It means catching yourself when you start scrolling and comparing. It means setting boundaries when you feel drained by others' opinions. And it means consistently reminding yourself of this truth. The only validation that matters is the one that comes from within. When you stop competing, when you stop chasing applause, when you stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20, you unlock freedom. You free yourself to grow, to evolve, and to love yourself without conditions. And that kind of love is the most unshakable foundation you can ever build, protecting your energy and setting boundaries. Learning to love yourself more than anyone else also means protecting your energy and being intentional about who and what you allow into your life. Too often we give people unlimited access to us, our time, our emotions, and our mental space, even when they drain us, disrespect us, or disrupt our peace. But when you truly love yourself, you realize that your energy is sacred. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table, not everyone should have the privilege of your attention, and not every battle is worth fighting. Protecting your energy doesn't make you selfish. It makes you wise. It means you've reached a level of awareness where you no longer allow toxic people, unnecessary drama, or situations that lower your vibration to control your life. Loving yourself means being selective. It means saying no without guilt, walking away without explanation, and prioritizing your peace without apology. Think about it. If you constantly give your time and energy to people who don't value you, what are you left with for yourself? If you say yes to everyone else, when will you ever have the energy to say yes to your own growth, your own healing, and your own dreams? Loving yourself requires courage. The courage to set boundaries, the courage to let go of people who no longer align with your journey, and the courage to disappoint others if it means staying true to yourself. Remember, boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are doors to protect what's sacred inside of you. When you love yourself, you become intentional about what you feed your mind, what you consume with your eyes, and what you allow to enter your spirit. You become mindful of the conversations you engage in, the company you keep, and the environments you place yourself in. This is not about being perfect. It's about being aware of the fact that your energy shapes your life. When you guard your energy, you attract people who respect it. When you set boundaries, you create relationships built on mutual respect instead of exploitation. When you honor yourself enough to walk away from anything that no longer serves you, you create space for blessings, opportunities, and connections that align with your higher purpose. Loving yourself more than anyone else means understanding this truth. You are not responsible for carrying the weight of other people's negativity, brokenness, or lack of respect. You are only responsible for protecting your peace, nurturing your spirit, and ensuring that your light never dims just to make others comfortable. So protect your energy like it's the most valuable treasure you own, because it is. Boundaries are not a sign of weakness, they are a declaration of self-love. And when you truly embrace that, you no longer live as a people pleaser. You live as a soul that honors its own divine worth, living fully in self-love. When you learn to love yourself more than anyone else, something extraordinary happens. You stop merely existing and begin truly living. You shift from being a passenger in life to becoming the driver of your destiny. Self-love is not selfish, it is self-preservation. It is the realization that your time on this earth is precious, and wasting it on self-doubt, toxic relationships, or seeking external approval is the greatest tragedy you can commit against yourself. Loving yourself fully means making choices that align with your highest good. It means saying yes to opportunities that expand your spirit and no to situations that shrink your soul. It means allowing yourself to dream boldly without asking permission and pursuing those dreams without apology. When you stand in the light of self-love, you no longer negotiate your worth. You understand that you are already enough. Without the validation of others, without material possessions, without fitting into someone else's idea of who you should be. Living fully in self-love also means showing up for yourself every single day. It's in the small choices as much as the big ones. Choosing to rest when your body is tired instead of pushing it to exhaustion. Choosing to eat foods that fuel your body instead of harm it. Choosing to speak words of encouragement to yourself instead of criticism. Choosing to surround yourself with people who inspire you instead of those who drain you. These daily acts of love create a foundation of strength and resilience that no storm can destroy. You must also recognize that self-love is not a destination, it's a lifelong journey. There will be days when doubt creeps in, when old wounds resurface, when you feel less than worthy. But in those moments, your commitment to yourself matters most. You remind yourself, I am still worthy, I am still deserving, I am still anew. This resilience in love for yourself keeps you grounded no matter what life throws your way. As you live fully in self-love, you also inspire others. People around you begin to feel your energy, your confidence, your authenticity. Your example gives them permission to love themselves more deeply too. This ripple effect transforms not only your life, but also the lives of those connected to you. You don't have to force anyone to change. You simply embody love so powerfully that they are moved by your light. To live fully in self-love is to live in freedom. Freedom from comparison, freedom from the need to please, freedom from the prison of insecurity. You unlock a higher version of yourself, one that is bold, peaceful, radiant, and unstoppable. And the most beautiful part? When you love yourself completely, you also learn how to love others more purely, not from a place of need or fear, but from a place of overflow. So today, decide to live fully in love with yourself. Don't hold back. Don't wait for the perfect moment. You are the moment. You are the miracle. You are the love you've been searching for. As we reach the end of this journey together, I want you to pause and reflect deeply on everything we have uncovered. Learning to love yourself more than anyone else is not selfishness. It is the highest form of self-respect, self-awareness, and spiritual awakening. Too often, we are taught to pour ourselves endlessly into others, to prove our worth through validation, approval, or sacrifice. But the truth is, you cannot truly give love, light, or strength to anyone else if you have not first filled yourself with it. Self-love is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Think about it. If you don't love yourself, you become dependent on others to supply your value. You begin chasing validation, constantly needing someone to remind you that you are enough. And when that reminder doesn't come, you feel empty, broken, and unworthy. But when you cultivate self-love, you step into unshakable power. You stop begging for scraps of attention. You stop lowering your standards just to feel seen. Instead, you radiate an energy that says, I am whole. I am enough. I am love itself. Loving yourself more than anyone else means setting boundaries without guilt. It means saying no when something doesn't serve your growth. It means walking away from relationships, friendships, and environments that drain your soul. It means looking into the mirror every morning and declaring, I choose me today. Not because you don't care about others, but because you finally understand that when you choose yourself, you show others how to treat you, how to respect you, and how to love you. True self-love is not arrogance. It is alignment. It is the understanding that you are a divine creation, worthy of peace, joy, and abundance. When you operate from this place, you naturally attract healthier relationships, better opportunities, and deeper happiness. Why? Because the energy you put out is the energy you receive. And when your energy says, I honor myself, the universe mirrors it back to you in beautiful ways. But let me remind you of this. Self-love is not a one-time decision. It is a daily practice. There will be days you doubt yourself. Days when old wounds whisper lies about your worth. Days when loneliness or fear tries to convince you to settle. And in those moments, you must return to the truth. I am enough as I am. I am worthy of love, even from myself, especially from myself. So today, I challenge you, no, I invite you to make a commitment, a sacred vow between you and your soul. Promise yourself that from this day forward, you will no longer abandon yourself for the comfort of others. Promise yourself that you will no longer chase love outside, when the greatest love already lives within. Promise yourself that no matter who comes or goes, you will always be your own safe place, your own strength, and your own source of unconditional love. Because when you learn to love yourself more than anyone else, you step into freedom. You awaken to your true power, and you finally realize you were never incomplete. You were always whole.